being 6 o'clock, we will get underway with our monthly meeting for September 2025. How quickly the year goes. And welcome to all of you around the table and to our staff team and to those of you in the gallery that are joining us this evening. Please be advised that this council meeting is recorded. It will be live streamed and remain available to the public online. All persons attending council meetings are to behave in a respectful and considerate manner and not engage in conduct or language that could be perceived as offensive, defamatory or threatening towards others. We will start with our acknowledgement of country and our statement of values. Deputy Mayor.
Thanks, Mayor. Central Coast Council acknowledges and pays respect to the traditional owners of Lutruwita, Tasmania, the Palawa Pakana people. We acknowledge the Punala Punna tribe of this northern country, and in doing so, we celebrate one of the world's oldest continuing cultures. The statement of values, guided by the diverse beliefs, experiences and backgrounds of the people we represent, we strive to make inspired and respectful decisions today that will build a better tomorrow.
Thank you so much. That takes us to item 1, attendance and apologies. We have no apologies, a full staff team and a full councillor team. Thank you all for attending. Item 2 is declarations of interest. Councillors and staff must declare any pecuniary or conflict of interest in any open session item on the agenda. Are there any declarations this evening? No? Thank you. Item 3 is confirmation of the minutes. The recommendation is that the council confirm the minutes of the ordinary meeting held on the 18th of August. Would a councillor care to move the recommended motion? Thank you, Councillor Viney. Seconded, Councillor Smith. Any clarification required or discussion on the minutes? No? I put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? Declared unanimously. Thank you. It takes us to item 4 and item 4.1, which is the Mayor's communications. And I didn't think I had anything to share with you, but I do want to acknowledge the hard work of the Gunns Plains Community Hall Committee, who put together last Sunday a fabulous celebration of the centenary of the hall. Council was pleased to support that event with the publication of this little keepsake, which those in attendance got a chance to take away. And it was absolutely a fabulous celebration. It was raining, so the children didn't get to play traditional games outside, which was disappointing, but the children in the hall behaved themselves very, very well. The highlight for the day was the presentation of the slouch hat. I'm sure you've all seen that on social media and in other media, and congratulations to all involved, which included the Ulverston Men's Shed. But they did a fabulous day of pulling the event together and just wanted to recognise their work and the ongoing service that hall provides to Gunns Plains, which is such a beautiful and special part of Central Coast. Item 4.2 is the Mayor's Diary. You have a list there. In addition to that, could I just add that I was pleased to go to the East Ulverston Primary School and talk to them about Wattle Day. What a polite and engaged and fabulous bunch of young people they are. And the Central Coast Chamber of Commerce and Industry Awards dinner. Any other additions to the Mayor's Diary, please? No? Any questions in relation to the diary?
One thing, I suppose, Mayor,
yes.
I'd just like to note that the Municipal Band Awards dinner was actually in the last month, if that could just be noted.
Thank you. Fabulous. In that case, would a councillor care to move the recommended motion for this item? Councillor Van Ruin, thank you. Councillor Wiley, no discussion? No, put the motion. Oh, yes.
I might just say one thing, Mayor. When you look at all the events that you've attended in the last month, you go well and probably above probably what a lot of mayors do. So,
but look at the diversity of them, and they are all generated by volunteers working in our community and serving our community. So isn't it an absolute pleasure?
It is, but I just want to acknowledge the amount of events that you've attended this month.
Thank you so much. I had a mover and a seconder.
Yes,
I put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Item 5.1 is councillor communications. Councillors may acknowledge or report on important events or community matters or updates from your community groups or committees on which you represent the organisation. Any contributions, please? Councillor Wiley.
Thank you. I attended alongside some other fellow councillors and yourself, Mayor and CEO, the Central Coast Chamber of Commerce Business Awards event on Saturday evening, which was a really great, well put together event. I'd like to mention Simone Dobson, who has been the promotions officer for the last, I think, about 2 years now, as well as her treasury role, and what a great job she did of putting that together. And she's now handed over the reins of the promotions officer role. But one of the highlights, or the highlight of the evening, was Robin and Murray Sinfield of Home Travel Company that received a Life Membership Award for the Chamber. They've been in business for many, many years, 18 years in one business and 42 years in another. So some of it crossed over. So a very long time they've been contributing to our business community here in the Central Coast. So it was a very well-deserved award, and just congratulations again to them.
Thank you. Any other reports? Councillor Smith.
So I'd also like to report, thank you, Mayor, that I attended the Municipal Band annual awards with our Deputy Mayor, and what a wonderful band we've got. We're very appreciative of them, what they do for the whole community. Just like to maybe half a dozen people that had won some awards there. The senior bands person was won by Peter Johnson, and the junior bands person was Lucy Smith. The attendance award with the senior was Mark Willoughby, and the Bimes Scholarship, Lucas Willoughby won that one. The Trevor Badcock Award, Lucy Smith, and the attendance award for the Leader Development, Ruby Smith. And it was wonderful to see the younger people with the awards that they've won. There were others, but that was just an overview of just some of the awards that was given for the night. Was, I think you'd agree, Deputy Mayor, it was I know you mentioned that you was there and last meeting, but it was an excellent, well run.
Excellent. Good. Thank you so much. And congratulations to them all. And yes, we're very proud of our band. Any other reports?
Just quickly, Mayor, just like to let people know that attended along with yourself and other councillors the AGM of Cave to Kenyon Group out of Windows on West Stella, which again was a wonderful night, and they had a good guest speaker there in the Atkinsons from the Tone Fishery, which enlightened our night with a bit of laughter and a bit of real life entertainment as far as setting up and trying to continue to run a business in tourism and agriculture as such. But just like to share that Terry Seeger is the new chairperson. She manages the Leven Valley Vineyards in Guns Plains, and also that we're all very thankful for the past chair in Ben Hiskett in retiring, and is at the moment away on holidays, so probably spend more holidays, but they're up and running and I'll have another good 12 months, Mayor.
Good. Fabulous. Thank you for the report. Much appreciated. Any other reports? No? In that case, we shall move on. 5.2 is councillors' questions taken on notice at the previous meeting. So for the purpose of the minutes, the response is provided there for a question from Councillor Dick Rose and the Director's response. 5.3, councillor questions on notice. No questions on notice have been received. 5.4, councillor questions without notice. Councillors are invited to ask any questions without notice at this time. Any questions for the CEO or through the directors? Nothing. Thank you so much. 5.5, councillor motions on notice, none received. That takes us to item 6. 6.1 is petitions. No petitions have been received. 6.2, deputations. No requests to address this meeting as deputations have been made. That takes us to item 7, which is public question time. Public question time will be conducted in accordance with regulations 33 and 36 to 38 of the Local Government Meeting Procedures Regulations 2025 and our own public question time policy. And this public question time is limited to a maximum of 30 minutes. In your agenda there, you can see that 4 questions on notice were taken at the 18th of August council meeting, and the council's written responses to these questions are sent directly to the questioners after they have been asked, but they are provided in the agenda for the purpose of record. That takes us to 7.2, public questions on notice. No questions on notice have been received. Takes us to 7.3, public questions without notice. So a bit of a brief for that. Public questions without notice provide an opportunity for members of the public to ask questions of the council relating to our activities. Statements and debate will not be allowed, and any questions must be clear and succinct. Members of the public may ask up to 2 questions without notice at this time, and to please address your questions to myself for the purpose of the record and the recording. There's a microphone at the end, so we ask that you come to the end of the table and clearly state your name and your area of residence, not your address, but just where you live, and tell me what it is that you'd like to discuss. All questions are to be asked in accordance, as I said, with the meeting procedures. And please note that questions relating to any decision on this meeting agenda are not allowed in the interest of procedural fairness. I remind you once again that the meeting is recorded and live streamed and will remain available to the public online. That said, would anybody like to ask us any questions this evening? If we can answer the question tonight, we will. If not, we'll take it on notice. Yes, please, sir. Please step forward and introduce yourself.
Microphone.
Yes, it's just there. If you stand there, it'll capture everything you say. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Mayor, councillors and directors. My name's Peter Needham. I live in Wilmot Road 4th, and I've been a resident there for just on 25 years. Lots of things have changed, and just on 4 years ago, a campaign we started with regards to local residents and to get the speed limit reduced from the 100 zone, which it is now. In 2024, according to the minutes of which I received at the last meeting, which was in 4th, Director Paul will submit a request to reduce the speed limit on Wilmot Road in June 2024. This year, at the 4th meeting in 4th last month, I put a question as to the progress of this submission. My response was, or the response that was given to me was, we dropped the ball with that one. And I would just like to ask if there's a clarification as to that terminology, what it means, what happened, seeing as a year previously, there was going to be a submission put forward. Look, this isn't how I wanted this to question, but there's something that I think is relevant to the whole the speed limit on Wilmot Road. A few days after the meeting at 4th last month, there was a terrible incident on Wilmot Road where a tree fell on a car, a man died and his wife severely injured. This happened outside the property of a very, very good friend of mine who happened to be the first to attend. We have spoken since and find it ironic that had the speed limit been adjusted to 80 kilometres an hour, that poor man would have arrived at the location to see the tree already across the road and would be alive today. I'm sorry, I had to say that because it was just conjecture that I thought had to be mentioned. I know it's not a question, it's just something I needed to get off my chest.
It's okay, Mr. Needham, thank you. I appreciate that, and I'm certainly, as with other councillors around the table, have been aware of this long-standing request. Unfortunately, I wasn't at the 4th meeting, and no. I have to say that I wasn't aware that that request hadn't been undertaken, but I'll hand to the CEO for a response.
Thank you, Mr. Needham. Just in relation to your comment about we dropped the ball, we do apologise that due to staff changeover, it actually just did slip through the cracks. But I'll hand to the Director of Infrastructure and he can provide you with an update. So the
submission was never ever put forward in June 2024?
So as I explained on the night, we committed to the community that we would submit it in the timeline that you suggested, which I think was June 2024, and we did it. And that's what I meant by we dropped the ball. We failed to live up to the expectations that we'd set for ourselves.
Right.
We've since made the application. And we're waiting for a response from the Transport Commission to either approve or deny that submission. The authority to approve that sits with the State Government.
Is there a time frame there?
There's no time frame that. So we're in the hands of the state government at the minute and waiting for their response.
CEO, could I have your undertaking that we keep in contact with Mr Needham as soon as we receive a response, or after a period of time that we follow up with State Growth and advise Mr Needham that we have followed up with State Growth and keep in contact with him that way? As I said, it has been ongoing, and as the director has said, we failed and we apologise, and we will undertake to rectify as quickly as we possibly can. And certainly the Minister for State Growth, who's responsible for such things, whilst he doesn't make those decisions, is very approachable on all such matters. So we'll certainly undertake some advocacy in relation to that. And thank you for your representation. I appreciate it. Any other questions, please?
Good evening, Mayor and fellow councillors. Thanks for the opportunity to attend this evening. You've all received my little memo last Friday, I believe, and I'm hoping you might have read my further memo this morning.
Thank you. For the purposes of the record, would you mind just stating your name?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
Rodney Anderson, 45 Leylands.
Thank you so much, Mr Anderson. Yes,
So-
we've received your correspondence.
Very good. I won't repeat that again then. We had a bit of a path of people knocking on our door on Saturday morning following the thing in the paper saying thank you for representing us on their behalf. And we learned a few more things because one lady said you didn't mention about the bus crash down in Leylands Avenue last year. Didn't know anything about it. A lady from further down the road said, are you aware that there was another near miss as a child ran across Leylands Avenue to meet their parents in Clun Crescent on Wednesday last week? And so it is a matter of ongoing concern, and I was interested that Mr Brown was quoted in the paper on Saturday saying that at this time, Council is not aware of any specific road safety issues in the vicinity of the school. Well, I hope after my little memo to you guys sort of filtered its way through to Mr Brown, because there are certainly lots of serious issues in that vicinity.
Indeed it has. Do you have a question for
Yes, I
me,
do.
Mr Anderson? Thank you.
But I must say that it was interesting this morning because Alleluia, the high vis lady, traffic warden, was actually doing a bit of a patrol. And so obviously the message got through, and so she was instructing students and parents who walked across the car park to please use the pedestrian crossing.
Fabulous.
Nothing done about the parked cars in the no parking zones, however. So my first question is, will the council prepare a traffic management plan to address the major safety issues created by the traffic generated by Leylands Christian School, and to ease their concerns, distribute this plan to local residents?
Thank you. CEO.
Thank you, Mr Anderson. I will hand over to the Director, Infrastructure.
Yeah, so we've obviously received the correspondence you've sent through to us, and we're still going through your concerns in detail. Obviously, you provide us with a lot of content there. So we'll have a look at that and see if there's any actions we can undertake. We wanted to acknowledge that we've been engaging with the school on some other matters as well. So whilst we're having those conversations, we'll continue to talk with the school to see if there's anything we can come to an agreement there. We will have a look at it in more detail before we determine if we're going to go to the full breadth of the traffic management plan, or if there are just some things we can tackle straight away to resolve it. But I'll provide you with a detailed response in response to your letter once we've had a chance to go through that.
Very good. It's interesting to note that today, after the principal's directive to parents, nothing's changed. Parking on yellow lines. I have contacted the police and they're going to do some patrols, but nothing today, unfortunately.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Sorry, Mayor, if I may add, Mr Anderson, we are actually going to look at upping the compliance in the area as well. So
Okay.
the Director of Strategic Growth has spoken to compliance staff,
Yes.
particularly with the new markings.
Yep.
And we've also got some new traffic signs that have been there for a little while that have we've just replaced some signs. So
Oh yeah,
now
Beach
that
Road, yeah.
now that they've been there for a little while,
Good.
people should be aware that we'll be looking to make sure that there's some action taken in regards to those.
Some generous income available.
Thank you. And your second question.
My second question again followed on from the knocks on the door at the weekend, with many residents still quite concerned about the proposed development at the school. And when I highlighted a lot of the inaccuracies in the original planning application, they were quite concerned and quite amazed that it didn't seem like those inaccuracies and errors were corrected before the planning application was approved. And so I've talked before about the errors in the figures relating to parking spots available at the school and staff numbered, which were both incorrect. And if they had been correct, the planning application would have met the planning guidelines in relation to staff ratio to parking available. So that was a significant error. Lots of other errors and corrections that needed to have been made regarding lighting, regarding traffic management, regarding path access, and the general comments that continue to come up in the planning application that there would be no loss of amenity to local residents. Well, quite clearly there will be. And so my question is, when significant errors of facts and data together with several pieces of misinformation were revealed, why was the planning application for the major development proposal at Leyland Christian School not returned to the developers for correction before the application was approved?
Thank you. I'll preface my response, or the CEO's response, by saying that amenity under the planning scheme does not always equate to amenity as you or I or other councillors might perceive it. So amenity has a particular definition, not always in keeping with how the community perceives it. CEO.
Thank you, Ms Anderson. I'll hand to Director of Strategic Growth, who is familiar with the planning application.
Thank you, CEO. Thank you for your question. So look, my recollection, and it's a big development application, my recollection is that the only two discretionary matters for that application were around the coastal inundation hazard code and the signs code. So the vast majority of aspects of that application were actually permitted elements whereby council has to issue a permit. Obviously, people made representations at the time and those representations were considered. So where people may have flagged an inaccurate material, we would have looked into that. I'm comfortable that the application was assessed appropriately. What I will say, though, is that we passed on to the school at the time, and we've done so again since then, that there are a number of concerns that were raised, which, whilst we felt that we couldn't do anything about them as a planning authority, we would encourage the school to take on board, and they've certainly shown a willingness to do that. And only last week, I think it was, they reached out and said that they'll be in touch soon, just sit down with us and talk about how we can progress those. If somebody believes that any development application has been considered based on false information, then that is an offence under the Land Use Planning Approvals Act. So that is something we can investigate, but obviously that needs to be accompanied by, sound evidence. So,
okay, so I might take you up on that. Thank you very much. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you so much. Any other questions, please?
I'm Jenna Rowbottom. I'm from Leylands Avenue, and I'm also here concerning the school development. I'm sorry, Madam
No,
Mayor,
just me.
councillors and directors. Right. I wish to ask a question relating to the proposed development at Leylands Christian School. I was disappointed to only find out about the development on August the 18th in an informal chat with a neighbour, and I was shocked, and I haven't slept well since I heard that. My boundary is not on the school, so I was not informed. My view is straight out through the two of the buildings, and where the building is going to go is exactly the view that I get of the sea. And nobody seems to care. And I, along with other local residents, stand to be greatly affected by this development, and I regret that I was unable to put in my objections on time. It will severely reduce the area of a much needed sports oval. It's the one that I look over. Plenty of space being a necessity for the health and well-being of active young pupils. And with this new development, they're expecting another 100 to 300 pupils. Many of those will be P-platers. And since grade 11 and 12 have been introduced, the P-platers are just there, and I can't see where they're going to actually park. I watch them come in every day. I don't know where the children are going to play. There's an oval, 670 children at the moment. There are two small ovals. They take up all the space. When they have a sports program, all the area is taken up. Now they're going to go into that and take over the space with the new building. And it's not just my view that's going. but I just feel for the children. I don't know where they're going to go. And I've been there since 1980. So I've lived in the area for 45 years, and I have watched the destruction of the suburb by this school. I've never complained before. This is the first time, because my view is going, I realise now that it's the first time I've wanted to leave. I have stayed where I have been because I love it.
Ms Rowbottom, do you have a question?
Yes, I do.
for Myself or the
And my question is, did the council seriously consider the objections lodged, especially in relation to the loss of amenity of those local residents who stand to be so badly impacted by this pretentious building if placed as is on the plan?
So, yeah.
Thank you, Mrs. Rowbottom. Actually, we did advertise the DA or in the local newspaper for.
Yes, well, I don't get that one. I get the Advocate. I get the Examiner because I came from Launceston, and that's the one that I have. And I just think sometimes when these sorts of things, and you look back and say you didn't get the newspaper, maybe some letter drops need to go out. So, because I would say 75% of the people in the district who use that public pathway put in by the council don't even know that this is going to happen.
Thank you, Mrs Rowbottom. I'll have to ask you to stop there so the CEO can answer the
Sorry.
question. No, you're right.
We do have a standard process, which is to actually notify adjoining residents, which you've clarified that you were not directly an adjoining resident. We do advertise in the paper as well, and all submissions that were received were considered, and they were considered against all the guidelines and the regulations, and a full report was placed to council on the reasons why they were either in scope or out of scope as part of the determination.
So you're saying that all representations were seriously considered?
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Did you have a second question?
No,
No.
thank you.
I appreciate your sentiment, and as we know, the planning scheme determines what we can consider, which does make it very difficult for people. Any other questions from the gallery, please? Michael.
Yes, I think I might make myself known, unfortunately, to all of you, but Mike Haney, 17A Victoria Street, Ulverston.
Welcome. How can we help you?
Thank you very much. Yes, from the time the coasters installed the recyclable rubbish bins, I've only noticed that so many of them have only been placed basically on the beach area, and there's very few of them I've noticed which have been placed around the central business district in the streets. And why shouldn't people be encouraged just as much to use those rubbish bins, the recyclable bins, as much as putting recyclable rubbish in a waste bin? And that the parents should be able to encourage the kids to be doing the right thing as well. And no doubt it's because, I suppose, a lot of the time, it's because this business up in Alexander Road has been there just during the past month or so. You can take your bottles and cans up there and get a deposit back on you. But there's still plastic containers which are recyclable, but I doubt whether you get money recycled back to you by taking those types of containers up there. And this is where these rubbish bins, if they could be placed in the street, would be placed. And it would be saving others from having to walk all that distance up to the shop with recyclables to deposit recyclable items too.
So is your question what determines where we place public place recycling bins? Or
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. And would it be possible for you to increase the number of these bins and not only just on the beach area?
Thank you, Mr. Haney, CEO.
Thank you. I'll ask the Director Infrastructure just to talk about the methodology behind placement.
You're now testing my memory because I thought we did have recycle bins down the main street, but I will personally go for a look and see if that's the case. But yeah, I agree. It would make sense for us to have recycle bins through the CBD, and if we don't, then that's something that we should work into future programs to look at. Yeah.
Yeah, there's currently only Apex Park and Hive where there's the recycling on it, but thank you so much for the encouragement to do more.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the gallery, please?
Look at all those eyes. How could I let you down? Out of the last 21 months.
Would you mind introducing?
Sorry, my name's Kevin. Kevin Abood here from Ulverston.
Thank you.
In the last 21 months, I've been blessed with your presence 19 of those times. So yeah, I really appreciate it. I've been putting some hard questions, some different questions that, you know, for education and everything. So I don't actually have any questions tonight, but here's a box of chocolates for my birthday. So businesses hand out presents for my birthdays, don't they?
Happy birthday.
So yeah, thank you very much.
Happy birthday.
So, thank you for everyone.
Oh,
Thank you.
Happy birthday, Kevin.
Yeah, thank you.
we appreciate your attendance.
Yeah.
Any other questions or gifts from the public? We have a gift register, don't we, CEO? So that we will
I
have.
want to mention something, just something that's I've forgotten about.
Is it a question or a mention? So unfortunately, I can only take a question or
question.
something that you can,
Question.
something
It
that
is
might be phrased as
Definitely
a
a
question.
question. Yes, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Madam.
At Lobster Creek transfer station, I do not understand why we don't recycle tin cans. You took plastic, you've got cardboard, you've got paper, magazines, no tin cans. I just, you know, it's something that's baffled me for a while, and I just thought
I
of
wish. Director,
tin cans just go in general rubbish.
so we're talking about steel cans, sir, or aluminium
It's
cans?
just like a tin of tomatoes.
Yeah, steel cans. I
Receptacle that's left.
thought there was a steel.
Yeah, I thought that too, but I will
It's
take it on notice and confirm with you.
Right,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you. There's always something to think about, which we appreciate. Thank you so much. Thank you for your participation and your attendance. It is always appreciated. That takes us to 8.1, Council acting as a planning authority, and there are no matters for the consideration of the planning authority at this meeting. Which takes us to item 9.1, which is the Chief Executive Officer's report. You have a full report there with the agreed updates that the CEO provides us with, and the recommendation is that the council receive the September 2025 report. Would a councillor care to move the recommended motion for this item, please?
So moved.
Thank you, Councillor Carpenter, seconded Councillor Viney. Councillor Carpenter, anything to?
No, there's nothing there, Mayor, that we haven't discussed earlier on tonight.
No, you're happy with that?
Yep.
Any other questions or comments relating to the report? No, in that case, I put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion is carried unanimously. Thank you. 9.2 is councillor committee appointments. So some changes there in relation to filling vacancies on the committees due to some vacancies occurring. Would a councillor care to move the recommended motion for this item?
So
Thank
moved,
you,
Mayor.
Councillor Beswick, seconded Councillor Lehman. Councillor Beswick, anything to discuss or add there?
Oh, other than to thank the councillors that put their hand up to go on these committees. You know, it's a vacancy that's come up, as you mentioned, and as I say, it's good that there's other people prepared to put their hand up. So, thank you.
Fabulous. Thank you. Any other questions or statements? Councillor Lehman.
I just wanted to thank the former councillor Casey Hiskett and current councillor Wiley for their service on those committees previously and making the vacancies available.
Thank you. Anything further on this item? Councillor Wiley.
Thank you. I feel like I should say that I've really enjoyed my time on the Community Safety Partnership Committee. It's a really valuable group that offers, you know, with safety being first in mind, which is obviously a very key value of our council, that I've really enjoyed being on that committee. And thank you to Councillor Van Rooyen for filling in for me.
Yes. There's lots of thanks, which is lovely. Anything further? Let's close. Put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion is carried. Thank you. That takes us to item 11.1, which is the financial report. The recommendation is that the council receive the financial report for the period ending the 31st of August. Would a councillor care to move the recommended motion for this item, please? Thank you, Councillor Viney. Seconded, Councillor Lehman. Councillor Viney, anything to add?
Yes, I'd just like to say that we're only 2 months into the new financial year, so we don't really have any real variances at this stage, and if there are any, hopefully we can catch them back up in the preceding 10 months.
Indeed. Any other speakers? No? Happy for me to put the item, Councillor Viney?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion is carried. Thank you. 11.2 is the capital budget amendments. There are two parts to that recommendation in relation to a revised estimated statement of capital expenditure and revised estimated financial statements. When you're ready, could I have a move for this item, please?
So move, Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Beswick, seconded.
Well, second.
Councillor Carpenter. Councillor Beswick, anything to say on this item?
Yeah, basically, Mayor, this is just some adjustments that needs to be made. As Councillor Viney mentioned previously, we're only a short way into this financial year. Sometimes there needs to be some adjustments made from works that were finished and carried over into the new financial year. So there's a lot of work goes behind the scenes. I don't envy their job at all. As far as a builder goes, I make accountant goes, I make a very good builder. So I commend the staff for all the work that they're doing in the background with all these numbers for us.
Thank you. Any other speakers?
Just quickly, Mayor, yeah, I concur with Councillor Beswick. It's nearly an impossibility to budget this through and totally endorse the adjustments and amendments. You just look at the dump stations that and I just picked that one item out. So I think when we originally budgeted for them on a proposed work plan a few years back, it was $10,000 thereabouts was put away. Now they're up to 65,000. So when you've got to try and budget forward all this cost, there's so many hidden things that we cannot calculate for. And our people in our community have got to understand that when they see some differences and adjustments and above and belows, it's not through any fault of anybody sitting around behind us here or anyone around the desk, Mayor. So totally endorse it.
Thank you. So much more volatile marketplace than it was 10 years ago.
6 or 7, 8 years ago.
Thank you for those contributions. Anything further from anyone? No? Anything to close?
That's all right, Mayor.
Thank you. I put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. 11.3 is a recommendation from our audit panel regarding the affordability of, or the advocacy regarding the expenditure related to the waste levy. Two parts to that recommendation relating to submitting a motion to the Local Government Association and endorsing the letter. When you're ready, would a councillor care to move the suggested resolution, please?
I could move, but somebody else should.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So I'm thinking.
I'm happy to move it, Mayor.
Thank you,
I'll
Deputy
second,
Mayor.
If somebody else cares.
Councillor Beswick, do you wish to speak to this item?
It's fairly self-explanatory, Mayor. I can understand the other two gentlemen, they're on the audit panel not wanting to move this, but I am the proxy. But in the end, I think that's all right. I wasn't at the meeting. I think it's important. There's a lot of money goes into the waste levy. It's important that it gets back into the community. We get a lot of commentary from people that use our waste transfer station that, the fees are going up and all that. We need to reduce our waste going into landfill because in the end, it just builds up and up and up. And that comes at a cost. I was listening to some friends from Victoria the other day, and you go the tip over there and you'd be spending hundreds of dollars per trailer load, not just $30 or $40. So our levy here is nothing compared to and it's going to keep growing. So based on all that, this is about trying to get some funding back to encourage people to do the right thing. The suggestion here is about some hard waste collections, funding for that. It's something that's been often mentioned to us over many years, the years that I've been on council. So any benefit we can get out of this levy, I think it's a bonus. So,
thank you. Other speakers?
Mayor, again, it's as I said on the audit panel along with Councillor Viney, we see this as a risk to our organisation, to the community, and as such, and there is going to be more and more money go into this waste levy over time, and not saying that it's not being used for the right reasons for this present point of time. on education, promotion and all that sorts of stuff and different things and, organic waste out of commercial businesses. When we get that done, we need to be in front of the curve. And that's if we can lodge this motion with Legat and get a victory. By the time it's in place, a lot of the other work will be done. And this is one way of mitigating that risk that comes to councils and comes to our rate base of, illegal dumping, white good collection, and try and get some money back out of that system because they're not going to give it back if we don't ask for it. Simple as that. And it's a suggestion to put it to good use and statewide suggestion, not just for Central Coast. So look forward to seeing it endorsed and hopefully fight for it till the gap. See how we go, Mayor.
Thank you. Any other speakers? No, anything to close?
I think it's anything to close, Mayor.
Thank you. I'll put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion is carried unanimously. Thank you. It takes us to 11.4, which is the boundary fence contribution policy. And that is asking you to adopt the contributions policy in relation to boundary fences. This is version 5 of the policy. When you are ready, could I have a mover, please? Thank you, Councillor Diprose, seconded Councillor Smith. Councillor Diprose, did you wish to speak to your motion?
Just like it's good to have clear guidelines on when it comes to boundary fence, and I think this, this is just this sets this out very, very clear. There's no grey areas as to what we will and won't do. So yeah, other than that, it sort of speaks for itself now.
Yeah. No, fabulous. Thank you. Anyone else wish to make a contribution?
Yeah, I'm going to on this again because this is a thing that's come up over my time sitting around council tables from a few years back, and it's great to have this policy in place and these guidelines in place because people do get confused. When you're neighbour to neighbour, the general rule of thumb is 50-50 and whatever, and when council owns lands or alongside roads or highways, it might be a little bit different. So to have this policy in place, it is clear, it's great for our staff to be able to show this is the policy, this is what we will or won't do. But what I do like about it, there is a little bit of flexibility there. There's a bit of room if there's a way to move forward and come up with a consensus and a good agreement. But we definitely have to have this policy. Good to see it renewed on time and keep it going forward, Mayor.
Thank you. Any other comments? Councillor Diprose, anything to close?
No, Mayor.
No. I'll put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion is carried. Thank you. Item 12 is infrastructure services. There are no open sessions from that department. 13.1 is development support determinations. You've got your list of development applications for August and the determinations report for the month also. When you're ready, could I have a mover for that motion? Thank you, Councillor Wiley, seconded Councillor Van Rooyen. Councillor Wiley, anything to share with us?
Thank you. Probably not too much on this one. I guess I just would like to highlight, as we have done over the last few months, about how fast we're getting the development applications through. So, for example, the target for permitted applications is 28 days and we're doing it in 15.7. So it's, really great to see that we're kicking some goals in speed and getting them through. So that's great. But other than that, there's not really too much more that I'd like to say about that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other speakers?
No.
Nothing. I have nothing to add, so I'll put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion is carried unanimously. Thank you. That brings us to 14.1, which is the meeting closed to the public. Would a councillor care to move the recommended motion there, please? Councillor Diprose, seconded Councillor Smith. I put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? And the meeting is now closed to the public at 6:44 p.m. Thank you so much for joining us and for your questions and queries. And so we really appreciate and the chocolates. We appreciate your time and the time that you've taken to be with us this evening. Travel home safely, and it's going to be very windy tonight and tomorrow, so batten down the trampolines. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin.
Yeah, the weather
Enjoy the rest of
popped up on my screen as you said that.